All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Three Black Guys Show.
Three black guys.
Minus one.
Minus one. Minus one.
Yeah, my man had to work tonight, so we're going to have to go without him. And
Now you know how it is sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, man.
Right.
So, man, what do you want to talk about? Oh, before we get started, I want everybody to make sure that you click like, that you hit the subscribe button, and you hit that notification bell. Get you three right there. Hit that notification bell. We'll let you know when we come on with a brand new episode. And so, since there's only two of us, man, we can get into all kind of stuff today.
Yes, sir. Well, look, man.
Let's get into what everybody's been talking about here recently, which is Iran and our almost war with Iran.
Well, let me tell you something. There's some fishy stuff going on with all of that.
Man, dude, it smells like a whole doggone ocean going on.
Like, I don't think we've been given all the information.
Say what?
I don't think we've been given all the information.
You think? You think?
So let's just kind of create a timeline here, okay?
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it for the people who are paying attention but not quite paying attention.
So first you had some Iranian militants that ran up in the embassy, okay?
No, you got to go back further than that.
Well, this is where supposedly all this started. I mean, if we want to get technical, this stuff been going on. I mean, we can go back to the 90s if we want to get technical.
No, let's just go back in recent history where, there was a bombing which killed one American contractor. And so then this was the touchstone, apparently. And so then they blew up a whole bunch of militias and one American contractor. And so then the militia people stormed the embassy.
Once again, I think false information again. See, I don't believe that had anything to do with the militants running up in the embassy.
Okay. All right.
The reason why is because them people been wanting us up out of there for the longest.
Forever.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I guess you could say that they could use that as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it was. But anyway, all right. So you had the contractor get killed. Then you had the militants run up in the embassy. All right. Trump says, okay, I got some intel saying that they're going to run up in 4 more embassies.
Right.
I can't let that happen.
Right.
I got to do something.
So you talking about all right, go ahead.
So I'm going to take out the general.
Right.
See, if I take him out,
all this will
none of this happen.
All this will stop.
So takes out the general. Then Iran says, okay, y'all did that. We're going to do something to y'all. Now, here's where the story, to me, becomes very, very comical and mysterious.
I think it got comical before then, but go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Well, because now all of a sudden, Iran fires these missiles.
Right.
How many of them was it? Wasn't it like 20 missiles or something like that? It was a good number of missiles.
Yeah, it was a good number. It was double-digit numbers.
All right. They fire these missiles at an army base that the U.S. says that there was army personnel there.
Right.
And fire these missiles. According to the U.S., nobody gets hurt.
Nobody.
Okay. According to the U.S., nobody gets hurt.
But according to the U.S., right?
If you look at foreign media outlets, they had said, close to 85 people. Okay. Then not too long after that, this Ukrainian airplane gets shot down
out the sky. Full of Iranian Canadian citizens.
Right. Now, at first, Iran was saying, no, it was mechanical failure, whatever. But then they just went ahead and came out and said, you know what? We shot it.
We shot it. We shot it down.
Now, here's the problem that I have.
Here's the problem.
So, Iran, this country who is building nuclear weapons.
Uh-huh.
This country that we know has some pretty decent technology.
Mm-hmm.
Fired double-digit missiles at an army base.
Uh-huh.
And nobody was hurt.
Nobody, man. Not a soul was touched.
Iran, who's building nuclear weapons.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need everybody to grasp this. So these people
that are
fired double-digit missiles.
Double-digit missiles.
At a U.S. Army base.
That
had a bunch of folks at it, but nobody was hurt.
That's what you call the blessings of the Lord.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Here's my theory. I believe the United States cannot put out there that people were killed at this army base. Because if you do that, then you have to admit that Iran did not back down from it, which Donald Trump is a bully.
Mm-hmm.
He does things because he thinks people are going to run from him. And he does things because he feels like, all right, if we do this, they're going to be scared of us. Iran has never been scared of us.
Right.
Ever. Now, they have conceded to some things because of economic sanctions, but they have never been scared of us.
It was 15 ballistic missiles.
15 ballistic missiles these people shot at an army base.
Right.
And nobody got hurt.
See, well, either two things happen, right? Either they're horrible shots.
Okay.
Either horrible shots, which I don't see how since they hit an airplane out of the middle of the sky. But anyway, they're horrible shots.
Okay.
Or they warned the base that it was coming.
Okay.
There was foreknowledge of the missiles coming. So that's the only really two excuses,
right?
That one could plausibly come up with. Either you're bad shots,
right,
or there was a warning.
Okay. Let me tell you something. You don't believe either none of that.
What I think was that the Americans had some forewarning that these missiles were coming and to move to a secure area.
No.
What you mean, nah? No. I believe I really do. I think that Iran really didn't want that much smoke coming to them. So they said, well, look, we got to fire these missiles. We got to slap you in your face. We have to slap you in your face.
Okay.
But, we don't want to kill a whole bunch of people.
Right.
Why you looking like that?
But then they turn around and shoot an airplane out the sky.
Now here's my plausibles for those. You ready for those?
Yeah, come on with it.
All right. Either it's a problem with the system. It was some type of if it was an automated firing system, you know what I'm saying? Then if they had something in their program to say fire anything at anything in this area,
okay,
or somebody felt real bad. It was a human error and fired upon this passenger airliner. Or the third one is who was really on that plane. Which they shot it down purposely.
Okay.
What? All those are possible.
Well, I mean, it's possible that Iron Man flew down and blew the plane up.
No, that's not possible.
That is possible. That's possible.
That's not possible.
So listen. Okay,
right, I'm listening.
Let's think logically for a minute. And
are you saying that I'm not logical?
The reason why, no, that can't, no. Listen. Right. So they fire these missiles at an army base.
Yes.
And then hours after that, some sort of technical mishap happens and they precisely shoot down an airplane out of the sky.
Right. This is Iran, hey.
But they fired 15 missiles at a base and couldn't kill nobody.
They were buck shooting. What can we say?
Now, according to what they said is that they said that there were Army personnel or military personnel at the base.
Yes.
They didn't say people left because they were warned. They said that there were people there.
Right. They went into the bunkers. Come on, man. They had forewarning that this junk was happening. They had plenty of time. Do you see where the base is situated in Iraq as opposed to where the missiles were possibly shot from Iran? It was hundreds of miles.
The base is sitting pretty far in Iraq from what I saw.
Yeah. So there had to be forewarning, dude.
Forewarning.
Right. I just cannot go with the thinking that they missed
so
bodies.
Okay.
What? You think that the military, you think that Trump and the military will not admit that any Americans died?
To admit that would be it would be the nerd kid slapping the bully back.
But think of it this way, though. I mean, if it would be a perfect excuse if they had killed some of our guys to go ahead and start a war. Isn't that what the man wanted in the first place?
Well, that's true. And you can look at it from that angle, but Trump's ego is bigger than any of that.
Yeah.
His ego doesn't want to say they slapped me back.
You think so?
You know what I'm saying?
I think,
because right now, all right, all of a sudden he's saying, okay, all right, Iran don't want no more smoke for real. They didn't back down. Well, did they? Because listen to what the man said when they talked to him. The man said that as far as we're concerned, yeah, we're done. But we can't take no responsibility for what other people that are here might do.
Now that's the caveat, because we have no control. What he's saying is, what these other little militias that we don't have any control do, that's on them.
We supposedly don't have any control over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But me, when I heard him say it, I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing.
Right.
See, I got you.
Right.
See, I got to keep one eye open fooling with you. I got you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And And that's where I think Trump's ego will get him in trouble. Because he think he done something. He think he done slapped him in the mouth, and now they just gonna lay down. Iran is never. And just because this man jumped on the radio and on TV talking about, okay, we did the appropriate response to what they did for us, now we're done. But if any of these other little folks around here jump up, man, want to do something,
right?
He ain't, they ain't got nothing to do with us.
Right.
That's them.
Right.
For me, he was on TV telling them, hey, y'all need to jump up and do something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the way I look at it. Now, maybe I'm just one of them I don't trust folks for real, but
you don't.
That's just what it sounded like to me.
You don't trust nobody.
I mean, it sounded good at first, and then you throw that other part in there, man. To me, it sounds like a setup. Well, then you have Iraq that comes and they vote to they want to expel all foreign armies, all foreign military, and so my thing is we make the excuse that we're there protecting them, but they don't want us there.
Right, and you know what they call that when you in a foreign person's land and you stay there and you won't leave. It's called an occupation. And so that would give them, I would assume, and I don't know this because I'm not a scholar, legal action to start war. Because you are an occupying force in a country that says we no longer want you there.
If you in my house and I want you gone and you don't leave, what's going to happen?
You're going to catch that smoke.
Right. So, so my thing is is while you have all these so-called patriotic Americans and all this stuff that wanted to stand up and now they proud and want to salute Trump for what he did, you know, what's going to be the aftermath of this stuff?
Well, I want to see some. I want to see some of these big Trump supporters go sign up. You know, I've been seeing the memes on Facebook. It's like, hey, now is your time. Come on in, sign up.
Most of these jokers too old and can't move. They can't move off the couch, let alone go talk about. I mean, you know, it's people support who they want to support, but it just amazed me the number of black people that flipped when he did this.
Well,
you know, I'm an American, so I got to agree with what?
You know what I think it is though? They needed something, some justification to say because it was already in there. Is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
they needed something to go ahead and bring it out.
Yes, and this was the perfect thing to say. Hey, look, I'm a Trump supporter because I'm proud of him.
I've seen people, man, who just been dogging the man the whole time, and then when this happens, you know, I'm an American and blah blah. Listen, I'm an American too. But America does dumb stuff. America murders folks.
See that now. This is my thing, man. And we've come to in America, man. We've come to this point to where either it's black or it's white, and there's no middle ground. It's like I can still love my country and still have problems with it. Just like I have problems in my family, you know, and I still don't like Uncle Junebug or whoever. You know what I'm saying? You know, I love my family. But Uncle Junebug is, you know, getting on my nerves. So, I mean, it is possible.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that part of it.
Right. It's like I can be patriotic, but still not like the things that we do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm definitely not patriotic.
Say what?
I'm definitely not patriotic. My issues with this country are pretty deep. I'm all about making sure me and my family is straight and whoever else I can help along the way. I have no confidence in our government to do anything correctly. I don't care who's in there.
So let's define patriotism or patriotic, because I think that has gotten that definition has been twisted and manipulated into something that's unrecognizable. So here's the base definition of patriotic. It says having or expressing devotion to and vigorous support for one's country. Patriotic.
I am definitely not patriotic. That definition right there solidified that to me.
Solidifies that.
I am not patriotic. When it comes to support of this country, it's hard to do that.
Yeah. When you know the history, though.
Right. And I think that's the problem. When it comes to foreign affairs, when it comes to domestic affairs, I mean, this country is just not right in a lot of things. Now, I'm here because I was born here and I live here and I make a living for me and my family here. And that's fine. But you've heard me say that as soon as my youngest child graduates high school, I'm on the first thing smoking up out of here.
Really?
I mean, I feel strongly about that. I really do. I don't like staying any place where I'm not wanted. That's just the bottom line. We're in a state now, man, to where because my kids live with their mother by themselves, and if something happens, I'm scared for them to call the police.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if the police show up, they see my oldest son, who's an 18-year-old young black man, and they see him, may figure he doing something.
Right.
Like one time they did have to call the police, and he said he was going to go outside and wait for him. I said, no, sir. You stay in the house.
Right.
It's dark around there. Don't go out there and wait for them. Go in the house, stay in there with your mother. When they walk in the house, don't you move.
Right.
And it's a shame that I have to tell him to act like he's done something wrong in order to make sure he don't get shot.
Right.
Stand there, put your hands up, don't move, don't talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the day and age we live in. Heck, I'm scared to call. If somebody broke in my house, man, the police is the last people I would call.
And that's sad. Because that's we pay them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's money that comes out of our checks, and that we pay them to protect and serve. But yet and still, when it's time to protect and serve, we often get the the end of the bullet.
Stick, man.
Right.
And I don't know, I used to be one of them guys, man. Like I used to run around here talking about, well, you just got to do what they say. You just got to comply and all that. Boy, I was so stupid.
Yeah, you were kind of crazy.
Boy, I was so stupid.
Right, because even compliance can get you killed.
Listen,
Sandra Bland.
Sitting on your couch playing video games with your nephew.
Right. In your own house, get shot.
You know what I'm saying?
Looking out the window, get shot.
Looking out the window. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
I can't stay no place I'm not wanted, man. I've taught my kids what to do. At this point, I can't do anything but just hope and pray that they never find themselves in any crazy situations. Because I don't have any confidence in our police force, in our military, in our government, none of that.
Well, the sad part is though that this is a place of freedom, but we have to teach our kids.
Well, define freedom.
Well, even that is up for debate. It's up for debate right. What the freedom is. But even in that, our voices are stunted. You know what I'm saying? We have problems at voicing our we can't kneel, we can't march, we can't we can't peacefully march, we can't violently march, we can't stand up, sit down, we can't sit on our couches, we can't look out the window. It's like, come on, man. It's like in this place of freedom, sometimes, man, even try to teach our kids that you do have a voice in this land. Our voices are often stunted. Right. Because we can't even kneel now, dude. We can't even kneel. You can't kneel, man.
It's ironic to me that a country who has acquired everything that it has by force and by violence.
Wow.
Always wants to keep its people peace. Like if we have a problem with something, we got to keep it peaceful.
Right.
I can't roll up on the Capitol steps and go to hollering and screaming. I got to keep it peaceful.
Yep.
But everything that this country has, they've taken by force and by violence. And for me, that's just that. I mean, how do you even deal with a country like that when you are treated as, I mean, they figure, okay, all right, y'all here now, we gave y'all some rights, y'all should be okay. Things have gotten better for Black people. I will not deny that.
They have.
But things have not gotten equal.
Right. And I think that's the big difference, man.
That's the very big difference.
And what I'm sad to say this, man, I don't want to be negative, man. Things being equal is something I don't see happening in this country.
It won't.
By the mere fact, and I'm gonna use this word, capitalism. By the mere fact, I don't think we're gonna ever be equal in this country because of capitalism. Not that I'm saying that we should move to socialism or any other form.
Right.
I believe that what's inherent in capitalism is greed, and that's what keeps this country oiled and greased, but also keeps this country uneven and unequal.
Right. Capitalism, man, is.
So now we're gonna hit all the subjects. We started out with Iran, but we're gonna hit all of them, man.
Capitalism is I guess a smoke screen, man. Because I guess if you look at it from, just being in this country and doing some of the things we do, we thrive in a capitalist society.
Right, of course.
But is it good for us? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
can I we're gonna move further down this road just a little bit. I'm gonna push this. We might move into this after the break.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to do is I'm studying this. Is how can these two opposing forces, capitalism, work in a system of religion where inherent Christianity and capitalism are opposing forces.
All right. Well,
go ahead.
Well, you can say religion, period, and capitalism would be opposing forces.
Right. But how does that? I mean, it is not. It seems to work in America, but at the heart of it, it's really not working because you have this inequity.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so how can we really truly say as Christians, as Muslims or whatever, how does capitalism really, how does it work? How is it really, like you said, is it helping us as we call ourselves a Christian nation when at the heart of it is greed?
Well, so
you want to take a break on that?
Yeah.
Or you want to
let's break on that when we come back, man. I can dive into because it's going to go into the mentality of a Christian and what a Christian actually thinks opposed to what the religion is actually saying. Because if you think about it in the way that you just said it, then yeah, that's pretty hard. Capitalism is based off greed, and it's well, we can use a different word, not necessarily greed, but glutton.
Glutton,
right? Because
which is one of the deadly sins.
Right. It's because we want more and more and more, no matter how much we get. You have people, the eyes
never full of seeing, the ears never full of hearing.
Man, you got billionaires that are out here still hustling up on money, still chasing the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because it ain't enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not enough. They can spend money every day the rest of their life and never get what they have, but it ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? It's pure gluttony. But yeah, we can get into that after.
Okay. All right. So let's take a break. Two black guys. We're gonna take a break. And we're gonna see if we might scoop up a third black guy just in case. See what happens.
See if we can get him back.
All right. So as we go into this break, guys, we want you to pay attention to the next couple of commercials, man. Myers Ultimate Treats and Lemonade popping off the chain, man. I was talking to the CEO today. We had a photo shoot. We had a photo shoot today, man, and it was off the chain. They got new flavor. They got blueberry, man. They got sour green apple. They got mango. Working on the diabetic friendly lemonade also, man.
Yes.
So they got the banana pudding popcorn with the vanilla, tiny vanilla wafers in there, man.
Okay.
Oh my Lord.
Okay.
Jesus.
All right.
All right. You can check that commercial and then check out Daylight Productions, guys. Wonderful cinematography, wonderful photography. Check out these couple commercials and we'll be right back.
This ain't your mama's ordinary dessert.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are now officially the
Three
three
of us.
black guys.
Tres
Negros. Negros, amigos.
Tres negros.
Amigos. Amigos, tres negros.
Negros.
Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that commercial with the Myers lemonade.
Oh, look at it.
Ah.
Yeah, that looks good, boy. Diabetes on the bottom, boy. I want some.
Right.
Yes,
Right. No shameless plug or nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
Oh,
And I hope you enjoyed the Daylight commercial from Daylight Productions.
I tell you what, since he, hold on.
Ooh.
Ah.
Ah.
Oh. Well, look.
And I know you got some.
Y'all plug in there. Let me go and plug it. Courtesy of Scripps Embroidery Studio, my Don't Let Your President Get Your Ass Whooped t-shirt. Scripps Embroidery Studio, ladies and gentlemen.
Scripps Embroidery Studio. Check those out. All right, guys. All right, so we're going to finish up our discussion on greed and capitalism and how that is kind of diametrically against one another and how those two philosophies work. We brought Mario in. He is with us. Thank you, brother, for being here with us.
Hey, I'll be over here for comedic relief all night.
And we were talking about how's that really working? Can those two things really work at the same time?
Well, all right. So when you're talking about Christianity, okay, not necessarily a good thing, but Christianity is already tied to greed.
Explain that one.
Yeah, you must delve deeper.
Well, look at some of your Christian pastors and Christian leaders in the church. People have already tied that to their way of living to being greed or to being gluttonous. So it's already in itself part of the capitalist society. You see what I'm saying? Like the two have already been intertwined.
Now, I kind of disagree with that because I mean the original form of Christianity and religion. Well, just to stick with Christianity, I don't want to deal with religion. Was that I mean you got too many stories within the Bible of about an outward flow about giving. I think that it has become Americanized. Christianity has that now that yes, in of itself. That
but we're
Americans
talking about Americanized because we're talking about American capitalism.
That's what I'm talking about. And so how can these things really work? I don't see how. I mean, I see how it works for certain pastors.
I can live in this capitalist society and I can thrive in this capitalist society, and I can also be a Christian because of what I decide to do with whatever I have acquired in this capitalistic society.
But then, are you really, truly living out the values that Christianity says that you must walk in? Can you really? Can you walk? Listen. Can you walk through the eye of a needle? Can you truly go through the eye of a needle?
Yes. I think you can. I think you can have that balance. Now, it's harder in this society.
And can you tell Donald Trump to say all he has?
He ain't got nothing.
No.
What are you gonna sell? He ain't got nothing.
But go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Tell me what he got so I can tell him. I'll tell him to sell it.
The man said he's rich. The man says he's got millions and billions of dollars. We ain't seen no tax return.
We ain't seen no tax return.
But he says that.
Well, ain't no tax return, y'all, because he ain't paid no taxes. The man told y'all he was too smart to pay taxes.
Go back to your point, man.
Okay, let me go back to my point. All right, so you can intertwine the two, being capitalist and being Christian. It's all depending on what you have acquired and what you do with the things that you have acquired. I myself use what I have to help other people. Okay, that's the focus of why I do what I do, because I don't want to be the only one out here eating. I want other people to eat with me. I want other people to have things. I want to teach other people how to make it, because as we talked about first half of the show, our government ain't worth a crap. And so, can I say that?
Yeah, I mean, you said worse.
Late now.
Oh, okay.
Can I say
I mean, you called the president a certain body part.
Oh, okay, I got you. I'm sorry. Okay. But yeah,
I'm gonna be knocking at your door tomorrow.
It's Christian values are that of giving, and giving back, and you can do that in this society. You can definitely do that. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go back to the early church.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to the Christian Crusades, and I know we're talking about America, but I mean the early Catholic Church, right? They say that those were about spreading Christianity, but that was really about acquiring land and so acquiring land, gold, whatever wealth was at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It was about acquiring that under the guise of spreading Christianity.
Under the guise of
spread. So the church at its root, it would be thousands of years at this point. Has been shady.
Right. So, and that's what I was saying at the beginning.
Okay, so you did say that. Okay.
When you talk about, what I'm saying is that Christianity in itself has already been tied to a greedy society, a society that takes by force, a society, because we got to remember, according to the KKK, they're Christians. They were doing God's work.
Brothers are capper.
Listen, man. Donald Trump is a Christian. Okay.
When?
Donald Trump loves God.
Who said he hadn't said that?
I don't.
Well, he didn't say it, but the other folks said it.
Hey, look. Let me tell you this: just because you stand in the garage does not make you a mechanic.
Come on.
They say that man a Christian. That man a Christian.
But he liked to grab cooch, huh?
Right. He liked to grab him by the ussy.
Yeah, cooch grabbing Christian, huh?
Right.
Oh, okay. All right. Like you said, I've never heard him say that.
I've never heard him say that at all.
But you know, those Southern evangelicals will make him a Christian, and he's the godly. Have we sucked the air out of the room yet?
Yeah, we started out with sucking the air out.
Yeah. It's okay. But I think the bottom line is just to sum that up, and to sum your question up is yes, you can be a Christian and thrive in this capitalist society, because
I didn't say that you can't thrive. I was asking, can they truly ideals stand side by side in harmony?
Ideally, no. Not ideally, because the ideals of capitalism and the ideals of Christianity will always counteract each other. They're always going to bump heads.
Right.
But
so then, are we being true to one or the other? I'm being the advocate today. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Well.
Can you truly be a capitalist and call yourself Christian? Because to be a capitalist means by any means necessary, I'm gonna get this bag.
I'm gonna make this money. Right.
And we can say Donald Trump is that, because even though people say he's a Christian, this man has not paid his bills. This man has done unethical business practices, but that's all under the guise of being a capitalist.
Ian, do you hear this? Drinking.
It's getting that water in. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? That boy is thirsty. This brother is turning up for real.
They're thirsty tonight.
I mean.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, but
turn it up, Joe.
I think that because being a capitalist, though, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the bag by any means necessary. It means you're going to get it. Okay. I'm going to get it. All right. And that's just bottom line. Now, is it by any means? No. Because there are some things that I just ain't gonna do.
I mean, that's you.
Well, that's you.
We're talking about America.
That's you.
I'm about America. America, Doc.
Well, I can't speak for America. America's corrupt at its core anyway.
But that's what we're talking about, though.
So if we basing it off of America, then no.
Okay.
But America is not a Christian country. I could care less what they say.
Oh, wow. Okay, no, we got to go down that rabbit hole. Come on, let's go. You got to come on.
Well, because we just said the values of what Christianity is at its core before it became Americanized or Westernized.
Right.
That's something I must admit.
This whole country, the country was founded off violence and stealing and raping and killing.
And pillaging and killing and misdirecting and lying and stealing.
Right. So England sent over their degenerates to start a colony. So what do you expect when you start a country with degenerates?
You can't say with a straight face that this country was founded off of any type of Christian principle. You know what I'm saying? Now, we like to say that because it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? You know, God bless America and in God we trust and all that. When has this country ever trusted God?
Wow. He gonna get us in trouble, dude.
When has this ever done anything in the name of God? Truly. I ain't talking about what they just said. Like you just said, Mario, the Crusades were done under the guise of Christianity. Mm-hmm. But when has the country truly done it? I mean, it just hasn't. Okay. The country is corrupt at its core. And because it's corrupt, we thrive off of it. Mm. So,
wow.
I mean, it is what it is. But the reason why that doesn't bother me is because of where I come from to acquire the little bit that I have.
Yeah.
Because I've been at the bottom of the barrel. I've scraped and I've scrapped and I've had nothing. So truly nothing. Mm-hmm. And so to have what I have now that I've gained by simply using some of the things that the country has put in place that other people have been able to capitalize off of, I just did it myself. Mm-hmm. And I can use that to help other people, to give knowledge, to give resources so people can pull themselves up. So we can get out of the umbrella of the government anyway. Let them folks do what they're going to do and we live our lives. Mm-hmm. Like, the only thing I need to be concerned with is when and where I need to build my bunker. Mm-hmm. Like,
I thought you was leaving.
That's all. Well, before
on the first thing smoking, that's what he said last.
Listen, my son is only 11. I got
a while to be here.
Right.
Hey, Mario, for real though, I think we both gonna move to what did we say was gonna move? Ghana.
Hey man, they still drinking Kool-Aid there? Hey. They still drinking Kool-Aid down there?
No, man.
Hey man.
That's my only concern, man.
They drinking Myers Ultimate Limited.
Wait a minute, Mario. Did you see him kick the pinky up?
I did. He kicked the pinky.
You see him throw the pinky in there with it?
I went turned up.
But for real though, for everybody that's watching, man, and you got an opinion or a question or even ideas about how Christianity and greed are affected in our country and even in the Black community, man, because we talk about the bag. Everybody talks about getting that bag, man, and by any means necessary, even to the detriment sometimes of our own people selling. I'm talking about selling drugs.
Right.
I'm talking about any other notorious dealings that we might have, man, that we get this bag and how that juxtaposes against
and the thing is,
the message of Christianity.
We don't never get the bag. We never get
because
some of us get the bag now.
No, man,
most of us are not allowed to. If you look at families like the Kennedys, a lot of these wealthy families or dynasties in America made their money
illegally,
but they were allowed to turn that thing clean, one way or another. We're not allowed to get to that point.
So what's the definition of the bag? Because people forever chasing money, always chasing money.
Right.
And,
say that again.
I said people are always chasing money.
Yeah.
So my question is, when do you catch it? Or do you use what this capitalist society has given us and you make that money chase you?
Right.
Because I don't go out here chasing no money. The money calls me.
I hear you, boss.
I move money.
Right.
It don't move me, man. And that's the way this society is set up. It's only been given to us as Black people to get out here and constantly chasing.
Right.
Constantly trying to. Bill Gates ain't chasing no bag. Steve Jobs wasn't chasing no bag.
What were they chasing then if they weren't chasing? Ultimately, if the end goal was not to make money, what was
all they had to do was set forth what they knew, put it into practice, organize their hustle, and the bag came to them.
Which goes back to our original thing. Our first show was that, we always chasing the bag. We don't put processes as Black people, put processes and plans in place so that, man, once we got that thing rolling, the bag is chasing us.
See, Dame Dash, with his arrogant, ignorant self, said it best. He said he don't ever have money because he always got his money into something. So it's constantly coming back to him for him to put it back into something. So the bag chasing him. The bag chasing him, he putting the bag back out there to get more bags.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He ain't chasing the bag. As long as you continually chase money, it'll always elude you. Always. There ain't no difference between $1 and $1,000. They both do the same thing as far as I'm concerned. They're both there for me to get what I need. It's just a tool. And when I finally got it in my head to think about money as simply a tool and not the end game.
Come on, man.
Everything changed.
Okay. Now I was looking at you kind of funny thinking, but you cleared it up for me. I got you.
Yeah.
I was looking. Okay, I got
everything is changed. Now, when we look at it, of course, we know $1,000 can do more for us than $1.
Right.
Like that's obvious. But the purpose of the two is the same.
Come on.
If you set $1 bill on the table and $100 bill on the table, their purpose is the exact same purpose.
Right.
The only difference is no difference if you go to Home Depot and buy the best hammer they got, or you go to the dollar store and buy the hammer that they got. Their purpose is the same.
It's a tool.
It's just that one hammer will do a little bit better job than the other one.
Right. One won't break on you.
But as long as you understand that their purpose is the same, it doesn't matter. I can still drive a nail with that dollar store hammer.
And I love this analogy. I heard this analogy. Money is nothing but influence. And unfortunately, we as a culture, when we get our money, we waste our influence on dumb junk.
Donald Trump brokers a joke, but I guarantee you right now, he can go any place in the world and stay at any 5-star hotel just from his name.
Right, because
without
that's
a dime in his pocket.
Influence is power.
Before he became president.
And we keep wasting our influence on dumb junk instead of using our influence or our tool on methods and plans and processes that'll get us more influence, that'll get us more not toys, but tools. Right?
If Damon Dash was to go in the Foot Locker and say, hey, I need these $300 pair of Jordans, but I left my wallet. You think they're going to tell him no?
Depends on the store.
Right. I was just gonna flat out say yeah.
I don't think,
but yeah, it depends on the store. It depends on where.
I don't think they are because of who he is and the influence that he has.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think they would.
If you don't pay for it. If I give you these $300 tennis shoes and you don't pay me for it,
but you got to think about as a store.
I just gave Dame Dash $300 tennis shoes.
As a store owner, okay. As a store owner,
right.
I'm listen, if Steven Spielberg looked at one of my short films on my YouTube channel and said that they were garbage, I would still be ecstatic that Steven flipping Spielberg looked at my movies on my YouTube channel, regardless of his opinion of them, because of who he is. You see what I'm saying? Even if I give Damon Dash these pair of tennis shoes he came into my store, I can use that to make more than $300. You see what I'm saying? I guarantee you.
I get where you're going.
He's talking about publicity now.
But right, I mean? He's right.
I'm talking about the influence of who these people are.
Right.
And spinning that in your favor. I understand where you're going with it.
Even if, like I say, if Steven Spielberg said that my films were garbage, I could probably make money from that. The fact that Steven Spielberg took the time to look at my
hot tomatoes, hot rotten tomatoes.
It's all about how you.
That's how we got our president.
Well, I mean, it could be. I mean, he might have gotten elected because of simply
publicity.
No, right. Garbage.
I mean, you know, but that's how this country works, though. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. I would rather use Damon Dash's name of coming into my store other than making the $300 off of selling them the shoes. I can use that. Yep. You see what I'm saying? I can use that to make continual income. Because he came into the store, I gave him shoes. Dame Dash came into my store. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Or anybody, or whoever came into my store. So it's all about how we use, man, what this country and what this society is pushing out to us. It's all about how we going to use it to gain what we need to take care of our families, to help whoever we can along the way, to build our bunkers when this idiot gets us blown up, and go from there.
Mario, you had a question for us, man.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, you can go to 3blackguys@gmail.com and leave questions or topics for the show. But I have a question that came from a listener.
Okay.
And his question is, and take your time with this, gentlemen.
Look at him chomping at the bit, Doc.
Aaron says, as an African-American male, am I wrong for feeling some type of way about Christianity due to the way and by whom presented it to us, to our ancestors, rather? Basically, what he's trying to say is,
I know what he's trying to say.
Okay.
What's he trying to say? Make it clean.
I know what he's trying to say.
Oh, let me make it clean. He feels some type of way about Christianity. He feels that we've been sold a bill of goods with this thing called Christianity.
So
that it was used as a tool to control us.
Let me take a sip for this.
Go ahead, get you. Oh my God. I'm gonna buy you a Yeti, okay? I'm gonna buy.
Gotta have my jug, man. My jug is the only way.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Right, and go.
So what he's referring to is, of course, we know Christianity has been referred to as a slave-making religion.
Yes.
In other words, it was used to make slaves and to maintain slaves.
Right.
A lot of people like to refer to what happened with Nat Turner, how Nat Turner was used as a preacher to go around and kind of keep the slaves in line. Just to jump on that point real quick, I would like to remind people that Nat Turner also used those same scriptures to justify him going out and killing his slave masters.
Right.
So, you know, we can look at this both ways. But so what was given to the slaves, though, from the white people was a bastardized version of the Bible.
Come on now.
It was a watered-down, perverted version of it. And we know we can do that with any book in this world that has ever been written. We can take its words and pervert it to serve our purpose.
And let me break you right quick. And that the reason they could do that and keep Black people in line is because the lack of being able to read, to being literate.
Right.
And if you keep people, and this is applicable today, if you are not literate on the things that's happening around you, you wouldn't be able to change those things or wouldn't understand those things.
Right.
Go ahead.
So to answer your guys' question, though, it's okay for him to feel some type of way. It's cool. I get it. But what he has to realize is that they didn't give this to us. We gave it to them. All right. All this stuff that's happened in the Bible, that pertained in the Bible, started with us. Okay.
I got you.
It started with us. It didn't get passed to us. It started with us. They got a hold to it, perverted it, bastardized it, then gave it to the slaves because, as Steve said, they didn't understand it. They couldn't read. And so throughout the years, they were able to keep slaves in line through it because they didn't know for themselves. All right. So they had people like Nat Turner that could go around and preach these scriptures.
I'm trying not to preach.
Even with Nat Turner, obviously, what he was preaching didn't sound right. And he used those same scriptures to say, hey, we don't need to be in what they doing. They are the actual devil that's in this book.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people feel some type of way about being Christian and being black. And I tell people, man, that's fine. If you feel like it's not for you because of that, then fine. But what if you're wrong? All right. In other words, what if the fact that you won't believe it is what's keeping you down? Because
that's what I was about to go to. But when you were done, I was going to hit on that.
Is whatever other book you've read to try to discredit Christianity, it doesn't trump my experience. You understand? I know what God did for me. I know what the words of the Bible were able to teach me. I know this because of my experience. So then you have these people that always want to bring up, well, the book was written by man and all that. Well, tell me what book on this earth wasn't written by a man.
Right.
Hey,
but before you move off to that,
okay.
Before you move from that, is that I was going back to being literate once again. Okay, so even though the book was given to us, even though we gave them the information, they bastardized it, they manipulated, they turned it and twisted it, and then try to give it back to the slaves who were literate. And then for us in this generation to say that, I don't want that because of its source, that once again links back to being illiterate of where it came from and keeping you illiterate and uneducated and not knowing. If you know the history of where the word comes from and geographically and the skin tones of the color of the people that were there, and following all that back, I'm not trying to get into that, but if you know that, you become literate and then understand that those words still ring true today. That's in the Bible, even though it had been perverted, even though it had been bastardized to keep people under control. They can say the same thing about the Quran. You can say the thing because religion in of itself is a tool,
right?
Or can be used as a tool.
Can be used,
but to say that just because it came from this person is keeping you illiterate about the truths that are in it. Now go ahead, brother.
I can take green eggs and ham and pervert it to mean what I want it to mean. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can throw and try to throw some metaphors in there. You know what I'm saying? Green eggs really mean money, man. You know what I'm saying? And that ham means a woman's butt. So it means this woman gotta get out here and shake her butt, man, to get me these green eggs. You know what I'm saying?
Eggs is production.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Eggs represent fertility.
Fertility of the stability of the fertility.
You can pervert anything to mean what you want it to mean and to say what you want it to say. And to try to use the excuse that it was written by man, well, who else was supposed to write it?
Right.
Yeah.
What you mean it was written by a man? Of course it was. Right. Every book you read that said that this book ain't real was written by some man somewhere. What makes that book more valid than this one? What makes what so-and-so wrote more valuable than what whoever the compilers of the Bible wrote for this?
I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
And I get his dilemma, Mario, and I understand his problem. I really do. Because it's something that I thought about in my earlier years. About it. But once I began to understand where it came from and how it was used, then of all the excuses that somebody has to not want to be a Christian, that just ain't one of them. That one just for me isn't the valid one. Because like I say, anything can be perverted.
Right.
Anything can be taken out of context.
Right.
Anything. If I send you a text message and you don't hear my voice, you can take that out of context and think it means something that it doesn't. So when we're talking about what white slave owners gave to people who they were trying to keep in bondage, that they owned as property, you're going to use that as an excuse not to believe it? Not in my mind.
Go ahead, Mario.
I'm picking and choosing my words.
Man, say what you got to say. This is the three brothers, man. This is
but
the
other people
three
gonna be watching
brothers.
This. Other people gonna be watching this. And...
We the three black guys, man. Listen, the very first show, we told them it is what it is. We told them what was happening. Come on with
it. I found myself at a crossroad at some point about, and it was a class on it was called a Survey of the New Testament. And the guy was a white Baptist preacher. He said, "I'm coming in to teach this class." He said, "I'm a pastor of such and such Baptist church, but this will not be a sermon every class. I'm here to teach you historical facts." And he said, "What you will find in this class, and that I have to fight about every time, or not fight about, but people have problems with, is this class is based off of facts that can be traced. You know, you can go read a book and this is a fact. Right. That might not coincide, but it might debunk things that you may have been taught traditionally in your church."
Well, that's because, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But what I'm saying is that class kind of messed me up, though.
Right.
You know, and it started making me question some things that I had been taught growing up about Christianity. I don't want to go into it.
Well, let me tell you this: a lot of things that you were taught growing up were probably wrong.
Were wrong, but it got me to a point where I wanted to start researching why.
Right, definitely. That's what you got.
Right. Why I worship how I worship. Why I do what I do.
But in our
not
last
just
few
because
minutes,
grandmama and them.
Listen, real quick. Do this. Don't look at the Bible as a book of facts, okay? Mm-hmm. Look at it as a book of principles. All right? When you look at it as a book of principle, a principle will work. I don't care if you believe it or not.
Wow, that'll teach.
It will work, okay? When you start looking at things as facts, then you want to go to try to prove a fact. And you waste time proving the fact instead of putting it in process, all right?
Okay.
So look at it as a principle.
That's
the
good.
Principles will work whether you believe they work or not.
Mm-hmm.
Sowing and reaping works whether you believe it or not. Our mamas taught us that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, you got to give to somebody. You got to give if you want to receive something.
Well, you got to put some seed in the ground for it to come back up. That's a fact. That is.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. That's good.
You see what I'm saying? So just that's what helped me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what helped me, because I think all of us at some point hit that crossroad. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Where we question some things that we believed and all. I think we all hit that. But that's what helped me. When I started seeing the principles in the Bible, and I started looking at it as the principles. And that's what I tell people who don't believe in it. You don't have to believe in it. Follow the principles and they'll work.
Right.
Because the principles is going to work.
I agree with that. I was a juvenile detention officer for several years, and we had a brother, and I know we running real close on time. I'm going to say this and let you have it, Steve. But he was a woke, hotep brother. And, we would have guys come through and do Bible study with the boys, man. And after that was over, we'll go back to the unit, and everything that they were giving him, he was tearing it down.
He would kill it.
He was killing it. And I pulled him to the side and said, "Hey, man, don't step on that."
Right.
I'm cleaning it up how I said it to him.
Right,
I said, but you can't step on that, because you don't know what it's going to take to get them through what they're going through right now.
Thank you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You. I said, so let them come to where you are on their own time.
Right.
If this is what it takes to get them through this rough patch in their life, let it be. So, you know.
All right, guys. I love this conversation. Tell brother Aaron that thank you for the question, and hopefully we gave him some sort of answer to help out, because that's what we're here for. We're here to bring up the issues, and we're also here to give some answers, because I don't want to bring just complaining and not coming up with any answers. Guys, we talked about a lot today. Right as we leave, guys, you know, the Royals are getting out of the game. They said they don't want to be a part of that. Baby. I'm just saying, wow, my girl must be off the chain. Yeah. I'm gonna leave that right there. All right, guys, you've been watching the Three Black Guys.
Baby ain't never coming home. He made sunshine, bro.
You've been watching the Three Black Guys, y'all. And I'll let y'all.
Yeah,
Mario, James, we out. Steve, peace.
Later.